By the time he died, Henry's kingdom was nearly bankrupt, its people overtaxed, its clergy fractured, yet the palace kitchens still roared with fire, feeding the corpse of a monarchy that could not sustain itself. In many ways, Henry's gluttony symbolized the very empire he had built, vast, powerful, and rotting from within. In many ways, Henry's body became a metaphor for his kingdom. The same excess that swelled his frame swelled his empire, bloated, rich, and unstable. He tore England from Rome, not out of faith, but out of appetite, for control, for possession, for the freedom to consume without restraint. His body mirrored the state he created, powerful, magnificent, and quietly dying from within. His death left behind a paradoxical legacy. To some, he remained the mighty Tudor who reshaped England into a modern power. To others, he became a cautionary symbol of vanity, cruelty, and indulgence. Even today, centuries later, the details of Henry's final years evoke a morbid fascination. His case is studied in medical journals as an example of the earliest recorded metabolic collapse, and by historians as a study in the psychology of despotism. He stands as proof that power, when left without limits, does not elevate the human spirit but corrodes it. After his death, the Tudor dynasty continued to rule, but the shadow of his appetite lingered. His daughter Mary inherited his physical frailty and his obsession with divine justification. Elizabeth, though brilliant and disciplined, carried her father's relentless will, his hunger for adoration, and his terror of mortality. The Tudor myth lived on, but so did its curse. Henry's body was entombed in St. George's Chapel at Windsor beside his beloved Jane Seymour, the wife who had given him his only legitimate son. Yet there was a cruel irony in that union. Jane, who had died in childbirth, represented vitality and renewal, while Henry's remains symbolized corruption and decay. Together, they formed a monument to life's two extremes, creation and consumption. He was not conquered by rebellion, by treachery, or by disease brought from abroad. He was conquered by the very thing he worshipped, appetite. His story reminds us that the boundaries between power and ruin, between pleasure and pain, are perilously thin. Those who saw him in his final days could hardly believe he was the same man who had once commanded Europe's respect. The Golden Prince of the early Renaissance had become a grotesque relic of excess, a king who mistook consumption for immortality. His death marked not only the end of a reign, but the death of an illusion that greatness could exist without restraint. Today, his story endures not as a celebration of monarchy, but as a mirror held up to human weakness. His downfall illustrates that no power, no wealth, no divine right can shield the body from decay or the mind from obsession. The flesh, no matter how royal, is mortal. In the end, the throne did not destroy Henry VIII, nor did rebellion, heresy, or betrayal. He was undone by something far more human and far more terrifying: his hunger.